Hey, I wanted to come on and talk to you today. This is very timely. It's July 2025, and the reason I'm saying the date is because this will be around for a while. But I got asked a question this morning that really made me reflect, and that was, what is the resilience movement all about, and why did it get started? And truth be told, the resilience movement got started in 2019. I think I kind of dabbled a little bit before that, but in 2019, I had some significant changes in my life, and I had spent 13 years in a business, and things kind of came to an end. And, for 13 years, I really gave it my heart and soul. And unfortunately, certain things unfolded. I made some decisions that certainly didn't serve me well, but did serve me well, if you know what I mean. Later on, when you realize something happened, you understand why it happened. At the time, not so much. But in 2019, I took a journey across Spain. I did the Camino, and that was from Saint Jean Pied de Port to Santiago de Compostela. And it was 860 kilometers, in fact, probably a little bit more than that, over 1 million steps. So, over 33 days, I walked more than 1 million steps, and I needed every one of those steps to really shift my thinking, shift the trajectory where I was going in my future, and to shift certain mindsets that I had around failure and integrity and all of those kinds of things. And of course, there's been some backlash for me, and understand, because people don't know the journey that you've walked, and they don't understand what it was for you and what happened. There's just a lot of assumption. But at the end of the day, I turned 50, and I decided to walk that journey. And it was one of the best decisions that I've made. And it was hard. It was mentally hard, physically sometimes hard, especially the first day on my birthday. And while I was over there, my grandmother passed away, and we celebrated her life when I got back. But there was lots of things for me to learn, lots of things for me to reflect on, and out of that came more about the resilience movement, which is, why I'm here today talking to you, because the resilience movement is about being resilient and coming back from adversity, understanding that we all are more resilient than we could ever contemplate. And when we understand that whatever hardships, challenges, trauma, whatever we're going through, there is always a way to come out of that. And over hundreds and hundreds of years, thousands of years, people have always overcome adversity. And there's many books written about it. There's many movies written about how someone overcame adversity. And one of the things that I wanted to do was share some of my story and my journey, so that people going through similar things knew that they weren't alone, and that they could then find ways, tools, strategies, whatever it might be, to help them move through that. One of the things that was really important as part of my journey is really helping people understand that it's not about pushing down and suppressing your feelings. It's not about pushing them aside, because anything that we don't deal with will come back to us when we least expect it. So it's about dealing with those things. And also understanding the resilience movement is also about understanding that we don't have to settle. We don't have to settle for what we think we deserve, or what we think we should have, and other people should have the happiness, or other people should have the success. No, that's for you. It's for all of us. There is so much abundance out there in all forms, that it's for everybody. And so the resilience movement is part of storytelling, and part of reminders of how strong we are, and reminders of what we overcome helps build our story to push us towards the future. because we can all create a bright future, every single one of us. And so the resilience movement story is about how do you craft your story too? How do you tell a new story? Because one of the things that I know for sure from my experience is that as you keep telling the old story, your body keeps living the old story. So if you want a new story, you have to start telling a new story. However, you have to also imagine what that looks like and what life looks like when you have that new story. What we have been through in the past is in the past, unless we keep making the same decisions that keep us there. So, what I want what I want you to get from this is about what story are you telling yourself internally to the world? What are you speaking? Are you speaking about your hardships that have happened, or are you speaking about the things that you're creating? And we all have that ability. We all have that privilege to be able to do that and to be able to share our journeys for other people to not feel alone. And so, as we evolve, as the resilience movement keeps moving forward, that's because I keep moving forward. And I have a very different story. My future is very different to my past. My current life is very different to my past. And, as you get older, hopefully, you become a little wiser and you look at perspectives like that perspective might not be your perspective anymore, and other people's perspective isn't yours anymore. And what people think of you, ask yourself, why is that important if it is to you? If it's important, why are other people's opinions of you? They don't know you. They don't know your journey. They don't know your strengths. They don't know where you're headed, unless, of course, you share that. And sharing it is living it. So I want to thank everybody who has been joining me on the resilience movement journey. And I also want to welcome new people who have joined us, because there are lots of you. And I thank you so much for your support, because without support and without people hearing about what you're doing, then you can't share it, right? And your greatness is not meant to be kept inside. Your greatness is meant to be shared. Share it with others. Go out there and help people grow and build and achieve the life that they want to achieve. Now, this next message is for all of those who are sitting in places they don't want to be. If you are in a job you hate, why are you there? You are not stuck. As Jim Rohn would say, you're not a tree. So if you hate the work that you're doing, find more work that lights you up. Something I know for sure is you'll always be successful at something that you're passionate about and something that you love doing. So go do what you're passionate about. If you're sitting in relationships, now not just intimate relationships, if you have relationships that are not healthy, why are you staying there? Why are you having people in your experience that are not positive? People who don't support your journey, why are you allowing their experiences to impact you? We don't have to hang out with people that we don't like. We don't have to hang out with people that don't support us and love us and want us to do better. We don't have to do that. I had this realization back many years ago, more than 2 decades ago. I remember I used to spend time with people that didn't parent like I wanted to parent, didn't talk to each other the way I wanted to be spoken to and speak to others. And one day a switch flipped, right? I don't have to hang out with you. I don't have to share my life with you. I don't have to speak with you. Now, sometimes we do have to hang out with people at work or wherever it might be that we might not like, but we spend less time with them. And that's really important, what you do with your time. Now, time is interesting because there are people out there who say we all have the same 24 hours. Well, no, we all don't have, we have 24 hours, but we don't have the same 24 hours. Other people have different priorities in their life. People have to do certain things that you might not have to do. However, how we manage our time and the people we spend time with is our choice. And so you have a choice of what you do. That's the beauty, right? We all have a choice. Just think about that as you move through the next few days. What am I choosing? So, thank you for listening. Thank you for allowing me to share. And I really, really do hope that you keep coming back and keep growing, keep learning, and keep moving forward. Stop telling the stories of the past. Tell the stories of your current situation and then what you want it to look like.